Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. You know, this has been a fun week of exciting and just neat Transformer reviews. We looked at that Ferric figure, we looked at the Doom and Destruction multi-packs, we looked at 2 Shockwave figures, we looked at 2 Sandstorm figures. It has all been leading up to today, our 5th day, our final day of my Transformers week, where I am reviewing the biggest Decepticon that I have ever reviewed on camera. I am talking about this year's Titan class Transformer, Tidal Wave. Let's take a look and I'll share some thoughts.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
So like I said in that opening, we are looking at this year's Titan class offering from the main Transformers line. It is Decepticon Tidal Wave from the Armada universe. Now you might already be saying to yourself, but Dan, you only collect G1, you've said that yourself. I mostly collect G1. Every now and then an exception is made. And when I started collecting Transformers again back in the mid-2000s, Tidal Wave was a character I got. I got actually both the American and the Japanese version. And when I decided that, I want to focus my, collecting to primarily G1, I sold both of my Tidal Waves. And I instantly regretted selling that Japanese one because I really loved that purple and gray color scheme. And I've kind of flirted with the idea of maybe trying to buy it again, things like that. But when they announced Tidal Wave as this year's Titan class, I said, screw it, this will probably be the definitive Tidal Wave for a good long time, so this is going to be the one that I get. We're going to start by taking a look at Tidal Wave in the Dark Armada form. This is our Dark Fleet form, rather. This is a, this is a huge figure. So, like, just to put it in perspective, like, here's my hand, and here is just the middle part of the Dark Fleet. It does look very cool with these nice deep purples, the yellow for the like the cockpits there, all these purple highlights, and even the leg pieces, they're hidden kind of well when you look at this thing dead on. The head is here, but it is very easy to miss. The only real point of articulation on this are the cannons, and the cannons will go up and down, and they can rotate as well. They do come not plugged into the figure, so they can untab just like that. And then you can put them back in. I don't believe there is a specific order that they go in. The only thing you might want to look out for are these little, like, cylinder pieces, and, let that be the judge of where you put them. I don't know if I put them in the right or wrong spot. That just is what looks good to me. These 4 pieces, too, also tab into the figure. They come loose, but I don't have any real movement. There is a little bit of movement to them. I guess they're like missile pods, but once they're in, they're kind of in. I feel like there was some more on the bottom. Hey, look, that looks like a little Tidal Wave. We'll get there in a little bit. But yeah, this is the main body. So yeah, it looks neat. I'll leave this off to the side here as I bring in the next piece. And this would be the piece that the arms make up. Of course, it looks like a, like a airplane, airplane carrier or something. It looks neat. I love the Decepticon symbol on mine. The paint is very lined up. So there's not really any like paint problems there. I guess it does look a little shifted over this way rather than that way. You can kind of see from the Decepticon insignia in the middle there, but nothing terrible. This piece here, the tower, does fold out, as does this piece of the aircraft carrier. So there is that. But underside, some nice detailing. Here are their hands. They're not hidden all that well. But then again, if you're looking from up top, you don't really see anything. A lot of peg holes here. You can stick various things, whether it be blast effects or like mini cons or whatever, micromasters on there. But yeah, looks pretty neat. So that is the middle piece. And the last piece that the feet form is a big chunky piece that looks like this. And it just fell apart on me. I don't know if anyone else is having this problem, but I can't get these to tab in together solidly for the life of me. Right now, they are pretty good, but within a couple seconds, I guarantee it's going to split again. And just to show you what this one looks like, let me take the other 2 pieces off real fast. It does look like this. It has that nice Decepticon symbol on what is the foot there. But otherwise, it looks neat. Towers are there. Again, holes there for blast effects or whatever you want to put there. But it does look neat, spinning it around. We have some nice thrusters in the back. The wings look nice. They do articulate the wings, so you can move them to your heart's content and kind of snap them in place. The underside looks like this. Some cool looking thrusters there. And some neat detailing in the underside of the foot as well. So, there are wheels. It will roll. Not much to say about these pieces. They're there. They look cool. I'm going to combine it into the combined Dark Fleet mode, which is going to take up some real estate. So I'm going to take this piece off, and when I put everything back down, it will be in that combined mode. And here is Tidal Wave in his combined vehicle mode. And I'm going to pull the camera back a bit so that you can really see just how big this thing is. I mean, I'm kind of running out of space between where I'm sitting and where my camera is, but this thing is humongous, and of course it makes for a very impressive type of battleship. Of course, you know, you do have things like a gap here, but like it's just like, you know, thrusters on the back of a boat. Like that's where the water's coming out, I guess. You know, and this would be the front of the boat up here. It is very cool. It is futuristic-y. It looks neat combined like this. It's just awesome. Now, one thing I do remember from the original Tidal Wave, if I recall correctly, you could transform him into robot mode from this configuration. That is not the case with this one. There's a lot of hidden bits that all really need to be disconnected and, you know, reconfigured in order to make this thing go back into robot mode. So I don't really have a ton to say here. I'm just going to kind of pass the camera over a little bit so that you can really see some of the details on this thing, because it just looks so good. Like, this reminds me of just like a space robot flying type anime, you know, Fortress in Space kind of thing, almost like White Base in Gundam. Just you know, it's imposing, it is menacing looking. Like, if you saw this thing selling to you, you're not going to be sitting here saying, "Oh, good, rescue is here." You're going to be sitting there saying, "Oh God, I'm going to die." But yeah, that's what this thing looks like. Now, rather than finagle with it on camera and everything, I'm just going to take it to robot mode. So I'm going to lift it again off. I'm going to move my camera back to where it was. And in robot mode, this thing is very tall and very impressive. So I'm going to have to shift my camera around quite a bit. But let's take it off and send it into robot mode. And here is Tidal Wave in his robot mode, and there are his feet. Now, let me angle the camera up a bit, and I'm going to pull back again so that you can see him that's the wrong way, in most of his glory here. He is just an impressive bot. Very tall, as you can tell, you know, even just, you know, towering above my display space here. But this thing is gorgeous. Like, I love this purple. In fact, a friend of mine who is a friend of the show, I know he watches these, my friend Bob, hi Bob if you're watching, was over when this arrived, and I took him out, and he just kept saying, "That purple is beautiful. That purple looks so good. It's a nice deep purple," and it really does. It looks so nice. But he is a towering, menacing kind of Titan class figure. You know, just for the sake of it, I have the Cybertron Starscream here, and I'm going to put him in front of Tidal Wave. And if I angle the camera down a bit, you can see the head only barely comes up to his knees. He is a big figure. That's a Voyager class figure there. So getting it back up to Tidal Wave, it does look really cool. I'm probably going to bring him in closer to the camera so that you can see him a little better. So I'll shift my camera back down a bit. But looking at Tidal Wave, looking at that face, like, that is just a great face sculpt. Those yellow eyes look great. That pronounced brow looks fantastic. Just like a very serious looking face on him. You know, and just looks so good. Moving over, you know, let me go over the articulations. I'm zooming in on each part. So the head can go left and right, and there's no up or down. If you lift this piece up, it kind of locks in. It does lock the head in place, so you would be able to move it up or down, but then you're messing with transformation. So it looks around. That's nice. In terms of the shoulders, first off, you have these really cool, you know, this part of his vehicle mode, like, makes for shoulder filler. But when we get to the arms, they do move in and out. So there's butterfly joint there because of transformation, because this piece hides away. But they also extend out very nicely. They rotate. You hear those heavy ratchets. I love it. It rotates all the way around. God, that sounds so good. At the elbow, we get some deep bend there. And there is, I might have to put it down for a second. but there is articulation at the elbow too, so it does twist. You can see this very cool blaster on the hand, and there is thumb articulation, so the thumb will rotate, which will also make the blaster rotate. But then the thumb itself has swivel here, so you can change the angle of the thumb, and it does pivot in as well, so you could cover that blaster a little bit if you want. However you want to display that is up to you. The hand also goes in. You can see something pops out here. That's going to come into play later, but the hand does move as well. You have these fingers that articulate, and yeah, there is this joint here that will spin, and that is there for reasons that we will get into, I promise. But yeah, so there we go. That is that's the hand movement. In terms the hip, there is no hip waist articulation. This is all one piece. I mean, two pieces technically, because that flips up, but it there's nothing else here at the waist. But in terms of legs, this skirt piece is going to, you can move it out of the way, so he can kick forward about this much, and he can kick back about, oh, there's also a skirt here in the back, so he can kick back about, hang on, he's hard to deal with, all the way back if you really want him to. It is very impressive. Bring the leg back down. I love those ratchets. There is rotation here at the thigh, so you can see that swivel. Knee bends about 90 degrees. And back. You almost need two hands when you're moving this thing around. In terms of the feet, yes, they do have ankle pivot, and the foot itself can articulate up and down, mostly for transformation, but you can make him, stand a little taller if you want to on his tippy toes. Sorry, I know you might be missing some of this. This is the first time I've reviewed something this large on camera, and I think I realized why he was not staying together in vehicle mode, because I wasn't flipping out this piece, which I have to admit I didn't realize was on both feet until right now. So yeah, there is a piece there that probably helps these pieces stay together in vehicle mode. There we go. Ugh, we're gonna just put him down again. I'll angle the camera up so that you can see him properly. There we go, more or less. Okay, so there is Tidal Wave. He looks very, very cool. There is one other thing I do want to highlight. There is a base mode. And honestly, I don't have the space to put it into this base mode. It is very large. I'm going to put a picture of the base mode up on screen now just so you can see it. I am going to take off some pieces in a moment that will assist with the base mode. They will also assist with another mode for another figure if you have it. And I do feel bad because I don't have the other figure that I'm about to talk about these extra pieces for. But let's talk about the mini Tidal Wave that is more or less included with this Tidal Wave, and most of the pieces are on him right now. So before, I did point out that there is a mini version on his back, and this comes out. It does leave a big gap here, but if you turn this around, you would never know. I am waiting, honestly, for like a third-party company to make extra like gap fillers for all the pieces I'm about to take off, so that you can have this mini Tidal Wave kind of out at all times without really any consequence. So I am going to turn this into his, his individual vehicle modes once I line up the tabs correctly. So there we go. So we have a mini version of the his torso mode, and yeah, that is there for reasons that we'll get to. There's also some things that come out here on the legs. Let me bring the camera down a little bit. So on the legs, this piece will open, and you're going to yank out on the inside here. There is this piece hidden. You're going to pull that out. There's one on the other side as well that you were just going to pull out. And they correspond with these back pieces coming off. So these pieces hidden in the leg that do come off, just like that. And you're going to connect these two like this. And then you will take these pieces here that you just pulled off and stick them on there are tabs, everything tabs on. Make sure you're doing it all the right way. There you go. So now you have a mini version of what his legs transform into. But again, it does leave these legs a little empty. You're missing the wings and stuff. And if you were to flip it around, you know, you have this whole gap now. Like, that whole piece is gone. So that's why I'm betting like a third-party company is going to come along and have, you know, gap fillers or piece fillers for all this. It wouldn't surprise me. I could see it happening. All right, going back up to the arms. There is a piece on the arm that pops out. If I can get it. There we go. Like this. Another one that pops out. Again, if it wants to come out. This one is always stuck for me. So I do worry about that. But this is, I think, the biggest one. Because when I pull it out, all of a sudden his hands are gone. And he looks kind of strange. But what you do is you fold this piece in on itself. And you rotate the hands around. You do the same thing with the other side. Fold this piece in on itself. And don't catch your finger in there, because I caught mine and it hurt. And then flip the hand around. And then you make sure you connect it like you did all the other pieces. And there we go. Now you have a mini version of what his hands turn into. I'm going to aim the camera down at these pieces. So the idea is that, aside from having a mini little tidal wave fleet, the idea is that you can connect these pieces to the leader class Armada Megatron or upcoming Galvatron and have him go in like that super mode that Megatron would do in the show. I didn't pick up the Armada Galvatron or Megatron when I was younger. When I was in college, I had the Armada Galvatron. And it was one of the figures I bought when I first got back into buying Transformers, again, in the early 2000s. Part of me thinks that I might pick up the leader class Galvatron, since I sold the Armada Galvatron. Maybe I could have that one. It would be cool to stick these pieces on it, however ridiculous it might look, having bits of tidal wave hanging off of them. I understand why the Hasbro team did this, because if you were to use main tidal wave, you would have gigantic pieces that probably wouldn't fit on the figure. So this is neat. I am a little surprised though that like they didn't try to put a head in here. Like, I thought it would have been really cool if you had a mini tidal wave kind of, you know, that you could pull out from this tidal wave. I thought that would have been a neat touch to have like a secondary tidal wave. I mean, they didn't give him his mini con, so it would have been kind of like a cool thing, have a mini tidal wave that you could do. I thought that would have been fun. But I'm going to stick all these pieces back up on tidal wave and then share my final thoughts. So there we have this really, really cool tidal wave. I gotta be honest, you know, I'm happy I bought it. There were definitely times where I was kind of second guessing it. Did I really need it? Did I really want it? And I'm glad I bought it. I did put a poll up on my Instagram, so if you're not following Rock Nerd Radio on Instagram, go find me, check it out. But I did put a poll up asking if people thought I should review it, and it was a 100% yes. So I'm glad that I got to engage with all of you in that way. Let me know what else you might want to see, if you think I've bought it or if you've seen pictures of me. I tend to post things that I've picked up. But let me know if there's anything else you think you would like to see me review, because I'm always down for it. But yeah, this is honestly one of the best Titan class figures that I've handled in quite a while. I didn't buy the Metroplex from, was it Legacy? I think that was just Legacy. I did buy the Nemesis from Legacy United. I was a little disappointed with that one. I did buy the Arc, which I was also a little disappointed with. So it feels good to really be into a Titan class figure like this, to be this happy with a Titan class figure after a couple letdowns, in my opinion. So there you go. Here was the review for Tidal Wave. Let me know what you think of this figure. Are you picking it up? I think it sold out initially on Hasbro Pulse. They may have gotten more in stock. But I know some people were kind of playing the discount chicken with some of the past Titans. Is that your plan? I hope it works out for you. I honestly don't know if this one is going to ever hit discount. But let me know what you think of Tidal Wave. Is it something you're into? Is it something you're not into? You're probably into it if you're watching this review, I would imagine. But the next big thing I have to do is figure out where I'm going to put this on my shelf, because I really don't know. I definitely have to make some room for this bad boy. But there we go. Overall, I like it. I would give it a solid like 9.5 out of 10. I really don't have very many problems with it. It's close to being a 10 out of 10. Who am I kidding? Definitely a contender for one of my favorite Transformers of the year. And it not just because of his size. I think he just looks wonderful. I think he functions really great. So there we go. Let me know what you think of Tidal Wave, like I said. And until next time, I've been Dan. You've all been pretty awesome. I'll see you around. Well, there we go. What did you think of this video? Sound off in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Remember, we are making a push to get to 700 subscribers here on the channel. If we do that before the HasLab Giant Man arrives, I will be giving away the old Toy Biz Giant Man Build-A-Figure that you've seen on my shelf and things like that. So hit subscribe, leave a comment, hit like if you're so inclined, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Come geek out with us on the ride.